What's going on, guys? Welcome to Game Time with Dylan Kattengell. Today we're going to be doing draft grades throughout the entire NFL. Today is going to be the AFC East. That's where we're starting with Jake Quinn and Noah Dougé. Tune in. Thank you guys so much for coming on to help me break down each team's draft.
Yeah, I'm excited to be on.
All right, so we're going to be starting with the AFC East, and that's going to be starting with the Buffalo Bills. I thought they had an exceptional draft. We're taking a look at it right here. But first overall was A.J. Epinesa, who I was surprised fell all the way to 54, whatever that would be, the second round, 22nd pick in it, out of Iowa, a defensive end. Extremely, extremely versatile, and who I thought was a first-round talent. Won over 30% of his pass rush attempts, which was just ridiculous this season. I could see him also maneuvering across that defensive line to potentially inside, potentially to both sides on the D end. I don't know. I think he's going to be versatile. I think it's just a really good value pick at 22. 22 in the second round. Jake, you got anything on Epinesa?
Yeah, I mean, the fact that they were able to get him in the second round, they traded away their first rounder for that Diggs, and who we know is a Pro Bowl caliber player.
Right.
And so when you do that, you know that you need your second round pick becomes that much more important because that's the first pick of the draft for you. And so they're able to take Epinesa, who a lot of people had in the first round. So it was a great trade. It was a great trade and a great pick for them.
Yeah, Noah, do you got anything on Epinesa falling, all the way down there to 54 for the Bills?
So I think the reason why Epinesa fell so far is because he's not that great off the line. He has a little below average athleticism, but that shouldn't take away from the fact that he has incredible power and great versatility. We saw at Iowa how dominant he was off the line. He led the league almost in sacks, and he had a lot of tackles. He produced on the football field. He also has great hands. So, I mean, they might drop him back in coverage here and there, but overall, I think it's a great pick for the Bills, who already have a solid defensive line.
I agree. The next pick for them was Utah running back Zach Moss, who I really liked coming out of the draft. Again, in the third round, I really, really like this pick. I think it's another value pick, and what Zach Moss can bring to this Buffalo Bills team is a very quick and elusive running back. He breaks a ton of tackles. He also has a little bit of pass-catching ability out of the backfield with that elusiveness. I really like this pick. Moving forward for me is Jake Fromm, another pick that I liked for this Buffalo Bills team. I really value the backup quarterback position, and you're going to hear that a lot from me going through this draft analysis. But the quarterback is the most position on the football field, of course, and having a solid backup that when shit hits the fan, that you can put somebody out there that can produce and keep the team afloat. I like it. Jake Fromm's a really good decision maker, doesn't turn the ball over a lot. I like what I saw from him at Georgia, just being able to be a really, really quality game manager. Didn't look flustered, great poise, good in the pocket. I like that pick. And the other one that stands out to me is Isaiah Hodgins, Oregon State wide receiver. I got to see a lot of him. I watch a ton of Pac-12 football. Isaiah Hodgins got no attention because he was at Oregon State, but has the ability to high point the ball really well and kind of give you a versatile look as far as route running. I'm excited to see Isaiah Hodgins actually potentially be getting snaps in the NFL. I see him playing. I think that's a great sixth-round pick for them. What do you guys see out of the remaining picks after Epinesa? Jake, you want to start us off?
Like you said with Zach Moss, I think it just gives him that thunder and lightning team that a lot of teams go for. That Lendell White, Reggie Bush, that D'Angelo Williams, Jonathan Stewart, that one where Devin Singletary can play this pass-catching, quick, scat back. He can make people miss. He's really fast. And then you have Zach Moss, who's more of a powerful runner and can get it up the middle and
break a ton of tackles.
Run him over, exactly. And so they have this kind of duo, which we've seen a lot of teams in the NFL go towards. And so that's going to be really dangerous.
To build on that, talking about him being a power back, I got a stat right here. He broke .33 tackles per rush attempt, and that was among the top 3 in college football this season.
Yeah, that's what surprised me. He holds the ball in tight, and he just like a bowling ball. How tall is he? How tall and how heavy is he?
Let's see. I think we got the drop
is that
down
on here? Yeah.
Right here to bring this up for you.
Because whenever I watch him,
5'9", 223.
5'9", 223. He's beefy. He runs
I think
strong.
you guys also have to consider, man, in Buffalo, Frank Gore career is pretty much over. Devin Singletary takes about 50 snaps in and out of games, so this is going to be a great running back, two, potentially for the Bills, Another thing, too, as you said, great pass catcher. Bills like to run a lot of running back screens. We saw last year, two running back set, trip set, so we'll see what happens with that.
What other...
something else?
Go ahead, Noah.
Oh, something else to consider, too, is something that the Bills lacked at, other than now that they have Diggs, is size. And Gabriel Davis and Isaiah Hodgins are really big, lengthy guys. So, you're going to have guys now where they can throw a little bit over the top. We haven't seen that much with Allen's arm, but, overall, we're going to see more of that, I think.
Yeah,
you're going to look at a more explosive Bills offense, I think.
Yeah, and, Josh Allen has the cannon arm to open up the offense. So now we have, John Brown is there, who's super fast and can take the top off. Stephon Diggs making his routes underneath, and now they got a big dude, Isaiah Hodgins, that, when it comes down to it, you can just throw him up the ball. They're really making something happen.
I agree completely, and I think that they also, we're going to move into grading this team now, but the defensive end need they had, filling in with Epinesa in the second round, which I thought was excellent. Like we've touched on, and I didn't hit on the beginning, which was a great point we need to touch on, is that Stephon Diggs was their first-round pick. And then they also addressed a running back need, which wasn't a huge need. They have a young guy there, but to give them a two running back set with two dudes that can perform, and young guys in Singletary and Moss, I really like that. For me, remembering that Diggs is part of this, I'm going to give this an A- overall. What I didn't love was the Gabriel Davis pick, and other than that, it was a solid draft for me. I really liked it, and I thought they got two value guys. Actually, they got 4 value guys, honestly. But the biggest value guys were Hodgins and Fromm. I was surprised they fell that low, and I was surprised Epinesa fell. This was a team where I was like, wow, they keep getting guys that I'm surprised they fall. It's an A- for me. Jake, what do you got to kind of cap it out with a grade?
I got a B+, and I think this was the first year in a while I've seen the Bills able to, instead of attacking this draft with need and forcing picks where I need a position here, I'm going to reach or do 20 picks ahead because I need this pick. They seem to realize that their team was pretty good last year. They're pretty young. They had made the playoffs. So really what they just need is talent, push them over the top. And so they kind of just sat back and waited, saw what fell into their lap, and picked the best talent. And I like all the picks. The only one that would maybe be questionable is a kicker, because you pick a kicker in the draft, he either has to be good, and if he's not good, then it's a bust. So it's there's really no upside for a kicker kick, because if you draft the kicker, he better be good.
Right.
But besides that, it was a good draft. I like it. B+ for me.
Yeah. No, what do you got for us on giving your final grade on the Buffalo Bills draft?
So I'm going to have to give this one a B. Personally, I think they got a lot of value picks here. As you said, Dylan, they've got a lot of people who slipped in this draft. But again, they filled all the positional needs. And moving forward, I think, especially the Bills, now that they were, I think they got bounced off the first or second round, they can look to make that further push with the development of these players. One thing that does stand out to me a little bit here is Dane Jackson. I don't know why they picked that pick, but again, it's to fill the kind of cornerback kind of role. I thought they should have gone to get maybe a tight end, maybe, to fill that role. But other than that, I think they got a lot of value picks. And again, remember, they got Diggs on the offseason. So, they're going to have a great wide receiver core moving forward. Great draft for them.
I agree. So moving on in this AFC East category, we're going to be going to take a look at the Dolphins here. Move you guys over for just a sec. Here comes the Dolphins, and we are locked and loaded. Guys, this Dolphins draft was up and down for me, and I had kind of a hard time figuring out what was going on. The first pick I really liked was, you have to go with a quarterback. I wasn't as high on Tua as I was on Herbert, but the talent's undeniable. I don't love the pick, but it's who they went with, and he's a all-time talent at quarterback. So I understand. After that, for me, Austin Jackson was a terrible pick. He was not a offensive tackle that I had highly rated on my board. I feel as if a lot of other analytics-based scouting I know that there were a lot of teams that had him slated as a second to third. PFF had him as a third. I think CBS had him as a second. I was surprised that they jumped to grab Austin Jackson, offensive tackle. He just didn't show the physicality necessarily to be picked with that 18th pick. I just didn't see it. Nor did I honestly see a technical ability like I know Wirfs was taken ahead of him, but a technical ability where you can kind of justify like an undersize or an under athleticism with a first round pick. And then with their third first round pick was Noah Igbinoghene, and for me again the cornerback out of Auburn, really, really solid as far as overall physical ability, but just didn't jump out at me as like a first-round talent being able to cover an elite amount of wide receivers as far as his ability in zone coverage. And again, with like Trevon Diggs on the board, McKinley on the board, I just didn't really understand taking the Auburn corner with that third pick. What do you guys, with the third pick in the first round, what do you guys got for these first three?
Yeah, I got something to say about Igbinoghene. I don't even know how to say his last name. You have to look at the safeties that the Dolphins had last year, Adrian Colbert and Stephen Parker. They were not bad down the stretch, but they're not surefire starters either. And I think this pick is a decent pick, especially, again, he was going up against top SEC receivers. He's not a guaranteed starter, but it's definitely someone that can develop in their system. And another thing is he's great downfield when people throw deep. So you got that at least, because, again, you're looking at a lot of passing offenses here in the AFC East. Another thing, Austin Jackson, decent pick. I think the Dolphins were just in a rush to get a lineman off the board, someone that they can protect Tua with. And then again, Tua pick, I personally don't know. It could be a win-win, lose-lose. We're just going to have to see with his health and his development again in the offense. But overall, if he stays healthy, he's a talent. And I think everybody knows that.
Yeah, exactly. I think it was an up and down first round for them. I really like the Tua pick. I really like the talent of Tua. If he stays healthy, I think he's going to be an amazing player. Austin Jackson, as you said, I thought he was more of a second-round talent. I mean, I thought he was going to go in the beginning of the second round to the teams that didn't get tackled in the first. But as Noah said, they really needed a tackle. So I'm not too surprised to see them reach here, even though maybe I would have liked to see them wait for him. And then for their corner, they need secondary help really bad. They traded away Minkah Fitzpatrick last year for one of these first-rounders, so it makes sense they wanted to address the spot.
I agree. Moving forward, Jake, give me like the standout picks moving out of the first round for the Dolphins. Okay. Who's going to be a contributor, who's not?
Yeah. My favorite pick here is Curtis Weaver out of Boise State. That dude, I don't know how he went in the fifth round. He is a beast. I thought he was going to be a third-round pick, at least. He's an amazing, amazing, amazing player. He gets tackling machine, sacking machine. He's so good with his hands. I don't know how he fell that far. I didn't even realize he did fall that far, honestly. So I started looking up the draft class for this video.
That was one of mine, too. I'm going to jump in right now. That was a fantastic pick. I'm with you 100%. I mean, we're on the West, so we kind of Mountain West football. We're around it.
We saw it.
But, like, for those who didn't, this dude was elite all season. In every capacity. Pass rushing, moving inside, moving outside, hand placement, speed. I liked a lot of what I saw from him. In him going to Boise State, it wasn't elite, which that's why we, said second, third, fourth round. But for him to go in the fifth and frankly late in the fifth surprised me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has some elite power, too, coming off the block again with that blitz. And he was one of the top pass rushers. I think he was up in the top 10% of pass rushers last season in college football. First-round talent in the fifth round, I think. First-round talent. I definitely think you guys are right there.
Yeah, he's a great player.
And then the other one, which for me wasn't a huge stretch, but I thought the Raekwon Davis pick was another solid pick. SEC play has gone up against great lines. Level of competition that Raekwon's seen is extremely high. For him, he's really good in run defense. I think that could be an asset for this Dolphins team. They have a good defense, but to bring in another second round run blocking ability up the middle. I really like
Yeah.
that. I think it adds a depth to a position of need for every single team in the NFL. I liked the pick with in the second round with Raekwon Davis. Anything?
Yeah, I think yeah. Keep going.
No, go ahead.
Jake,
I
what do
think
you got?
he's a great player. He was a highly recruited player out of out of high school. Went to Alabama, obviously. So anytime you have somebody being a part of that Alabama Nick Saban defense, they typically know what they're doing. They pump out NFL talent all over the place. But this dude's a beast inside. He'll anchor that defense, and I think he'll be there for a long time.
I agree. No, you got any last points on any of these Dolphins picks?
Yeah, so first I'm going to have to go with Raekwon Davis. You're right. Great prospect coming out of high school. Went to Bama. I think the Miami Dolphins could use him for first and second down. Great for running, stuffing a defense, getting in the trenches, pretty physical. Austin Jackson we already talked about. Brandon Jones, safety out of Texas, not bad. Again, just another depth need going forward. And Robert Hunt, too. I think another tackle that they went to go get just in case for some protection. And, again, for the run game. This Dolphins offense just needs to get off the ground. So they got a bunch of young picks. Hopefully they're going to learn how to play together next year. Hopefully get a little bit better pass protection, a little bit of run blocking. Because, again, when was the last time the Dolphins run game was actually relevant? It was a very long time ago, I'm pretty sure. So this is a good pick for running game, passing game. Just trying to get the offense off the ground, I think, moving forward, especially in an explosive AFC East.
I agree. I'm going to give my grade for this Dolphins draft. With me, I'm going to go that they should have taken Herbert over Tua. I did not like Austin Jackson. I thought there were better secondary help than Noah here with the 30th pick. And I did like what they did later in the draft, though. I liked the Raekwon Davis pick. I liked the Curtis Weaver pick. I liked the Blake Ferguson pick. For me, this is gonna be a C- though, because I was not thrilled with how they did at the top of the draft, and that's where it matters. So for me, this is gonna be a C-. Jake?
For me, it's a B. I think they got a lot of players that could impact their team for years to come. With Tua, with Raekwon Davis, with Weaver, if Austin Jackson develops, this draft class has a chance to be a big stepping stone for them, especially with all these players. They got all these different positions of needs. So I'm going to give it a B. I think it could have been better, but I think it definitely could have been better.
To give it a B- as well.
Okay.
Positional needs. I definitely think they could have gone out and got better players with the picks they have. But they filled all their positional needs, which is important moving forward. Definitely a stepping stone for the future. Now it's all about how these players can kind of progress in the league. But overall, I definitely think it could have done a better job with the picks they had.
I agree. All right, guys, so we're going to be moving on to the third team in the AFC East. This is Game Time with Dylan Kattengell. We got on Jake Quinn, Noah Dougé. We're giving draft grades and analysis for every team in the NFL. Right now, we're doing the AFC East. There's going to be a long-form video of all of the AFC East, as well as each team being individually broken up. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And we're going to be moving on to the New England Patriots draft. Here we go. You guys see it up on the screen. I got it too. Now, for me, I really liked their first two picks. I think that Kyle Duggar has the ability to take this extremely athletic skill set that he has. This dude's a freak, all right? And have Bill Belichick mold that into something. What I'm curious to find out is how actually versatile his positions are. Now, I know he lined up at safety a ton, but this dude is let's pull up his size here, but 6'1", 217. So probably as a safety. But I see him with his athletic speed and ability to tackle. I really see that how he could be kind of a defensive weapon, if you will, in that secondary. Because he can be used in a lot of different schemes. And I really like the pick. Jake, what do you got on Kyle Duggar?
Yeah, no, the Duggar pick was great. I think he ran about like a 4.49, I believe it was. So he's crazy fast. His burst score, I think, was like a 90. I think in the 98th percentile for all of the athletes in the NFL. So his sideline-to-sideline speed is just crazy, and he can just run through people, which has always been very important in the Bill Belichick defense, that rangy safety that can force, you to throw into these tight windows because he's coming over the top all the time.
I agree completely.
Bill Belichick's always needed that piece. Like, they've always had McCourty there. They've always had somebody back there that can just fly around the field, and now they have Kyle Duggar, who was, I think, a great pick.
Yeah, and he's out of Lenore-Rhine, which is a D2 school, a smaller school. But here's the thing too. I just want to make people aware. You can go look up the tape, some tape on this too. But he had an excellent Senior Bowl, which is against the top seniors in American college football.
He's a missile.
Yeah, he really can get it done. I thought this was a great pick. Noah, what do you got on Kyle Duggar or moving forward any of the Patriot picks?
Not a surprise with the Patriots here. You know, they're known for taking second or Division II, Division III players and making them into superstars. First off, let me start by saying Patrick Chung, Devin McCourty, both going to be turning 33 in August. This is a great pick for the Patriots here, just in general, with, again, them getting older. You know, he's an athletic freak, someone that Bill Belichick can mold. Bill Belichick's known for molding decently mid-average players into great superstars, someone we're definitely going to see in the league for years to come. And also something to note is he's a great kick returner, and he's going to get a lot of yards in the kick return. He covers a lot of ground in coverage, man coverage exactly. So we'll see with the years to come how much he's got coming.
I agree. The next pick for me that I also like their second pick, and that was in the second round, late in the second round, Josh Uche out of Michigan. Now, Uche over the last 2 seasons has been excellent. In the pass rush game, there are a little bit of concerns as to his size, and that's how whether that'll translate. Let me pull it up here. And he didn't play very big. However, I do like his ability to get. There were some plays when I was watching his tape where he did explode to the outside in a really high motor way that I liked. Now, if that motor translates 24/7 or not, we'll see. 6'1", 245, so you see the weight there. They're saying he's a D-end. They're saying that he could also be playing some outside linebacker in that kind of pass rush scheme. I'm interested again to see, because the Patriots are very fluid with how they use guys. I'm interested to see on where they line him up, but also if the 6'1" frame is going to be a problem at D-end, because at the NFL level, I could see that being an issue. But his effectiveness and production at Michigan warranted a second-round pick, and he was extremely productive there. So I like the pick.
Yeah, I mean, and he was very highly recruited out of high school. So I mean, he's always been an athletic dude making plays all over the field. You know, and so if there's any team that could, mold a player that has all of the ability and just lacks, some on-field or mental or whatever it is that comes to the execution of the game, the Patriots are usually the ones that can teach the people how to exploit that, how to get better at that. So I think it's a great pick here, and I think if any team can, learn how to use his athleticism, it would be the Patriots.
I agree. I mean, you kind of hit it right on the head there. Jake, keep expanding on this Patriots draft. What else did you see?
Yeah, something that jumps out to me is these pickups of the 2 tight ends. So, Brady leaves, and the Patriots are still committed to getting these tight ends. Like, that was not just a Tom Brady thing. Now we can see that Bill Belichick loves these tight ends. They picked 2 in a row, both in the 3rd round. These dudes are both athletic. I'm pretty sure Devin, I'm pretty sure he's about – let me –
Got you right here, 6'3", 257.
Yeah, he's 6'3", 256. He ran a 4.7 340, which is in the 87th percentile for tight ends. So he's an athletic dude. Dalton Keene is an 81st percentile athlete, so he's also an athletic dude. So the Patriots are just trying to get these weapons that can be placed all around the field, like we've seen them do with tight ends in the past. And I think both these dudes could really help them and just keep their offense going with what they've known before.
Going off real quick. Oh, go ahead.
No, go for it, Noah. What do you got?
Oh, going off what Jake said, the Patriots last year, their tight ends combined for a league low 37 touchdown catches, which is tied for second last in the NFL. So this is 2 great picks. Assisi has great body control, can get behind linebackers, tight ends. Great route runner, definitely underrated.
Only dropped 1 ball this season, too.
Yes. And a great
Soft
route runner.
hands.
He has natural hands. He's fast. I think this is going to be a great pick for the Patriots. He's going to see immediate playing time behind. I don't even know if the Patriots have Benjamin Watson. But Dalton Keene is also someone who's pretty fast in the backfield. Great pass blocker, runs extra hard after the catch. I think this is a great 2 great picks, and I definitely think we'll see these names coming up in the NFL.
I agree. I'm not going to harp on it anymore, but I thought there were two great picks. I like Devin Asiasi a lot. Soft hands, good route. I mean, he really checks a ton of the boxes at tight end, and he's going to fit into that Belichick system, being a smart tight end, too. I like the pick. The other one that stood out to me was Michigan offensive guard Michael Onyewu, and that's right here. We can pull up his size, but 6'3", 344, and I like the size. And he's long. I mean, it says it in the first three. It says it right there. But I mean, he's massive. He's long, and he's got hands. And to get all of that in the 6th round, I mean, I'm not going to beat this one into the ground, but I watched probably 10, 15 minutes of him taking snaps at Michigan, and he was an anchor. I loved it. I loved what I saw, and I kept watching it, and I kept looking at it, and I was like, this looks like an NFL offensive guard to me, and it just kept coming. Yeah. This guy has the physical tools to anchor that line. I love it. I love to see it with the hands and the feet. It looked good to me. I like it a lot.
Yeah, Dylan, I think you're completely right there. Great for the run game coming up. Going to be an anchor, big guy. They learn how to put a little bit of muscle on him in the weight room. He's definitely going to translate well to the NFL, especially
13 pressures allowed over the last 2 seasons. I mean, that's money.
I like that despite, losing Brady, the Patriots didn't go out and try to reach or do anything drastic. They just did what they always did. They sat back. They picked the talent when it fell to them. They got more picks. And now, I mean, how many picks did they have here? Like, they have all these players now. They can try to build this off. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 picks. So they got 10 new rookies now coming in. I think it's a solid draft class for them. I think it really was. I'd give it a B+.
Noah, what do you got?
I'm going to have to give this a B. Again, I never know with the Patriots. They always, draft really small, short, and talent guys we don't hear of. And then out of nowhere, 5-6 years later, here they are relevant in the NFL. I think this is a solid draft. Fills all the depth that they need. They have an offense that's kind of lacking, a defense that's kind of gone. So I think these guys with talent are going to become forces in the league, especially under the Belichick system. Definitely something that we should look at going forward.
I agree. Overall, I'm gonna give it a B- because I wasn't in love with the Anthony Jennings pick here in the 3rd round, outside linebacker. I'm not sure if they needed the help. I don't know if they're gonna have Josh Uche line up there, so I wasn't sure because he's only 6'1" as a DE, so we'll see. I wasn't thrilled with that. Other than that, though, like you guys said, it's hard to project a Patriots draft. I'm not going to sit back and pretend like I'm a guru that knows, more about these small guys than Belichick. It's going to be a waiting game with this draft. But overall, looking at Dougé, Uche, Asiasi, as well as getting Onyewu here in the 6th round, I mean, it's a B. It's a B for me. I think it's a pretty solid draft. All right, guys, last one that we are going to be covering, the New York Jets here in the AFC East draft grades coverage. Give me just a sec to pull them up right here. NYJ. There we are. Now, off the start, and I'll pull this up so people can see his size. This is just ridiculous. Mekhi Becton going first overall. Jake, you want to start us off here on this one? Give me like what your thoughts were as far as the first 3 picks for the New York Jets.
Okay, I love the first 3 picks for the New York Jets. One, as you can see on the screen right here, they got 6'7", 364 pounds, Mekhi Becton, who also, by the way, ran a 5'1", which is a 97 percentile 40-yard dash in the NFL. So his, and like they're saying, he's a project player. Like what we saw, last year at Louisville, it wasn't something that you would say, okay, he comes right into the NFL and he's going to be a Pro Bowl caliber player. But it was like, wow, this dude has a lot of things that you could see when developed could be a superstar player. And he's athletic. He's 6'7", 364. That's just ginormous.
I can't agree more. I didn't like this pick a ton at start because of the injury concerns, but then I looked at the tape, and it literally looked like an enormous human just stopping other men. It was crazy. What you saw was just somebody elite potential to like hold down an offensive line, because the size against some guys, they couldn't do anything. And it's not that he only has size, but he has crazy exactly, the strength and the athleticism that he can own people on the field, and you can see it on tape.
Exactly. Their 2nd round pick, love it again. I thought he fell too far. Denzel Mims. I thought he was better than a lot of receivers taken above him. He fell all the way down to the 27th pick in the second round, so almost a third. This is the dude who I thought was comparable to Chris Godwin on the Buccaneers, who's a great player. He runs crisp routes. He's a big dude. He has great ball control, and he's great after the catch. I think it's a home run pick. I love it.
Yeah, Noah, what do you got on Becton and Mims?
So to start with Beckman, definitely a generational talent if he learns how to use his body. I think you should look at probably one little stat that I think it's a high risk, high reward prospect. He only had 73 true pass sets in 2019, allowed 8 pressures on those, which is not bad. So again, it's just a lot about development for him. Denzel Mims, I'm going to have to agree with Jake. Great athleticism, great body control. We saw him at Baylor completely show out. And again, if the Jets can use him the right way, you're looking at a wide receiver one coming down the years. Because again, the Jets only have one. I think it's Robbie Anderson.
No, he's gone. He's gone too. They have nobody.
Yeah.
Then there you go.
Denzel Crowder. Mims. They got Jameson Crowder.
Denzel Mims. Denzel Mims is going to be definitely someone who's going to see a lot of time up there. And then another thing is I kind of like LaMichael P. Ryan. I personally think that he's a great runner downhill. Great pass catcher. Definitely something that I was paying a little bit more attention to.
Yeah, what I saw to Denzel Mims was speed, length, and body control. To just contort, move, and be physical and tall to go get footballs. I really liked that. One thing that stood out to me was I'm not confident he can run the full route tree yet, but other than that, I see him being elite. He has all the physical tools.
He can take over.
Yeah, he has all the physical tools to be elite and be a really good yak guy. I'm surprised he fell this far. The other one that jumps out... Sorry, go ahead,
Jake.
It was
sorry about that. I think it was the second game against Oklahoma in their conference championship where their quarterback was just getting hammered, just killed throwing the ball, and he got benched, and the third-string dude just came in and only threw to Mims, and they started moving the ball. Like, he can just take over a game. Dude he's the full package.
No, I watched the tape of what you're talking about, and that's where I saw the yak ability where he just said, this is mine now, and I'm going to start going and getting it.
Yeah, exactly.
The other pick that jumped out to me, I really liked cornerback Bryce Hall out of Virginia. I thought huge pickup. I'm surprised he fell to the 5th round. We can pull up his size here. 6'1", 202. I believe they may have had it listed at 205 or 206 earlier, which is, really good. I like that size for a corner. As it says here, team captain, 3-year starter. But other than that, I just thought he was an all-around corner that could do a lot of things well. Man, zone, pressure, good footwork, didn't get burned a lot. I liked what I saw from him in the short amount of tape that I watched.
At some points in the beginning of this pre-draft process, some people had Bryce Hall going in the 1st and 2nd rounds. He was a good prospect. I think even ESPN had him at the 87th ranked. So to fall all the way to the 15th pick of the to have him fall all the way to the 5th pick, the 13th pick of the 5th round, that's a far, 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 far fall. I think that's in the 200s, maybe. In the 5th round, 13th pick is probably in the 200s. So that's a steal of a pick, in my opinion, also.
Something I want to highlight real quick, you guys, is Jamal Adams' uncertainty with the future. We're not sure what's going to happen with him moving forward at safety. And I think that Ashton Davis is a great pickup. He had 7 solo tackles against Oregon.
Yeah.
Has shown that he could drop back in coverage, great ball skills and cover skills for a safety. You see Sam Darnold you see them to go get help with Sam Darnold, but then again on the defense, you see Davis probably stepping in that role moving forward and actually developing as a player. He's definitely shown some good speed too at run stopping. So that's something that I think we should all look at.
When I watched the Herbert film against Cal, all I could see was Ashton Davis. He was just either hammering receivers over the middle, getting every single tackle in the secondary, or intercepting the ball.
He was everywhere.
We watched the game. He was everywhere.
Yeah.
And to give a little context on why we're so high on Bryce Hall, too, he did have an injury that dropped his draft stock. However, he still was able to show elite ability, so I'm sold on him. The other thing that I was looking at, I always am just curious on why teams draft kickers or punters, because Jake said it earlier in the pod, but they have to really be, elite.
They have to be good.
Braden Mann is elite. Braden Mann is elite. In 2019, he was the best punter last season. Depending on what metrics you use, he was top 3 or top 5. Kicks the absolute shit out of the ball. With a 6th-round pick, I mean, I don't really think it's that big of a stretch. And then the other one was with the offensive tackle out of Charlotte. I think he just, for a 4th-round pick, I actually think he's pretty decent. I looked at a little bit of tape, kind of read up on him a little bit, but it looks like he's going to be able to add some depth to that offensive line out of the 4th round. So I'm actually, pretty on board with that pick. PFF had him graded in that 78 to 80 range over the last 2 seasons, which for linemen is very solid. I like him. I thought he's, a pretty good value in the 4th round.
Yeah, no, me too. I think that's just another tackle that can hopefully develop into that other side, because when you look at their line right now, it's pretty much nothing. Their line last year was terrible. They got Le'Veon Bell running for like 2.7 yards a carry or something like that.
Yeah. Jake,
they need help everywhere.
Jake, give us a grade.
I actually loved this draft. So I give it probably an A-. It's not one of the top 5 in the league, but I think the best in the AFC East. The value they got at Becton, who some people thought was gonna go to the Giants at 4. Denzel Mims, who I thought was gonna go in the 1st round, top 20 possibly, and Bryce Hall. It's gonna be a huge draft for them, and I think it's gonna be one they can definitely build on in the future. So A-.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree. I also the last thing I wanted to touch on was defensive end Jabari Zuniga here, and that's just to pair with some of the already strong pieces they have on that defensive line. So I'm interested to see how he can maybe get plugged in and utilized in certain sets, just as maybe a specialist. We'll see, but he has a lot of athletic ability. I don't know. He's a typical Florida kind of big body guy, so we'll see what happens with him. But for me, I really liked this draft. I'm gonna give it a B+. Because I'm not sold, like, if Jamal Adams goes, then it's probably an A- because they got Ashton Davis. But right now, I'm going to give it a B+. I mean, you already hit on it. Becton, I really liked it. I'm higher on him than I was 2 weeks ago, and that's just a freak athlete. Mims, again, 1st-round talent in the 2nd round. You already said it there. And, again, the Bryce Hall, Braden Mann, and Cameron Clark were all good picks. Like, it's a really, really solid draft for me. B+. Noah, what do you got?
I'm going to have to go with the A. I agree with Jake here. I think they best team to draft out the AFC East for sure. They got every single position they need. These are guys who are slept on. Mekhi Becton, we don't even know yet. We don't even know what he's capable of. Bryce Hall with the injury concerns, but moving forward, almost a 1st-round pick. Ashton Davis, Mr. Do It. I can do it all. Again, Denzel Mims, someone else. I think overall this is a great draft for the Jets moving forward, and I definitely think they took the best picks out of the AFC East for sure.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for coming on and talking the AFC draft grades out of the East. We are going to continue our coverage of the NFL draft. This is going to be a long-form video, about 37 minutes, but we're going to also break up each team individually so you guys can watch that. Also, we're going to be doing a very quick summary of divisions videos, and we're going to come up with a ton of awesome stuff moving forward. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Game Time with Dylan Kattengell.